It is the 15th annual Nantucket Book Festival, and I could not be more honored to serve as co-chair and to welcome these three incredible New York Times best-selling authors to the stage. We have Laura Zigman, we have Adriana Trigiani, we have Alice Hoffman, and we are here to talk about our beloved furry four-legged friends. I am referring, of course, to dogs. Cat people, you are also welcome, but dog people are required to attend. So now I am going to turn the stage over to these three incredible, hilarious, insightful, brilliant authors, and I'm gonna let you ladies take it from here.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah.
And thank you all for being here in this heat. We're not gonna make it fast, but we will be somewhat speedy so that the heat, you won't faint. People ask how this book was begun, and my editor and publisher came to me and said, we wanna write a book, we wanna have a book that's all about writers' relationships with their dogs. And so I was in immediately, and what I basically did was I wrote to all my friends who I know loved their dogs or had problematic relationships with their dogs in some cases. It was the easiest job I ever had, and I felt so lucky to be doing it. One of the things that was really great was that the stories were all so different, and we all got to work together. It was a great experience, and the one thing I realized is that when I was reading, even people who were my friends, and I knew them and I knew their dogs, I didn't really know their relationships and the depth of their relationships. So we're gonna just chat today about our dogs.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna take questions, and because our experience is people want to also talk about their dogs. But I just have to say, you can tell us a short story, but not a novel. Right?
Absolutely. But first,
Yes.
I have to say, you gotta really love Jesus to sit in a hot church. And one other comment before I punt to Laura Zigman. Alice is the funniest person. Laura is the second funniest, and I'm their acolyte. So what I would like to say is, who here is Italian? Raise your hand, see? And they all came on the ferry. They don't live here. Well, listen, it's okay. We feel very welcome. And it's a beautiful place, and we're having the time of our lives, and we can't wait to talk about our dogs, and I'm gonna punt to Laura now.
Well, I'm going to need a question because I am not as funny as you or Alice, but I want to see a show of hands of who here is a dog person. There we go.
Everybody.
That's all we need to know. And the ones who aren't, like Alice said, you're welcome to stay. We will tolerate you, but we're glad you're here anyway, and we hope that you will be converted by the end of this session.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And you know something, this book has been on the independent booksellers bestseller list for 14 weeks, which is just really, it just proves how many dog people are out there.
Beautiful.
Oh, and meanwhile, so I'm here, and I always say to people, don't get a dog, and definitely don't get a puppy, because I have a puppy, and even when I'm here, was at the emergency room this morning. So, you know, I feel like if you get a dog, your life will change, for good and for bad, right? I mean, you learn how to love someone, and you have to learn how to lose someone, both.
Yes. So I'll start. I'll just tell a little story about why I got a dog and how I got a dog and when I got a dog and what kind of dog I got. I didn't grow up with dogs. I grew up in a family that was either allergic or just didn't want pets. And so when my son was 8, he wanted a sibling. And I was quite old by that point, and I was in no position to give him a sibling. So we followed the advice of everybody that said, you get a dog. So we got a dog. It took us a while. The rescues had pit bulls. We finally got a dog. I'm sorry to say, embarrassed to say, I used to lie and say we got a rescue. But we went to a pet store, and we got a Sheltie. So I'm confessing. We bought a dog, and it was a Sheltie, the most adorable little lassie dog. And she became really a member of our family, which really, she was the glue and the sibling and the second child for me and all of that. And she was 16 and a half, and when I was writing my essay for this collection, I was writing it in the late spring, and I knew that her time was coming. So, but she died last summer. So here we go. See, we had some laughs, and now we're in death. And so now we have to turn it over to someone who's going to be funny. Alice or Adriana?
Oh, well, I can talk about Lola Ruby Falls Stevenson. She was adopted from this great state of Tennessee, and Lola had a past. She had a past. She had had some puppies. We think about 4,700 puppies. So she came to the Petco adoption. We have no idea how old she is. We assume she's about 15 now. We adopted her. We thought maybe, I don't know, she was even old then, if you know what I mean. You know that girlfriend of yours that just seems a little older, okay? That's Lola. Anyway, Lola has giant eyes. She's a puggle. She has, yeah, so cute, right? Very bloodshot, like her owners, big eyes. And when we were there at the Petco, I said to my daughter, Lucia, who was 10 years old at the time, I said, you could have any dog in this place but that one. And I pointed to Lola. So I got very nervous. So I left the Petco situation because I was in love with a dog named Shirley. Shirley was a little mutt root beer barrel, little tiny black ears, and she was performing for the people to get adopted. And I thought I would like a dog that has aspirations in show business. So I said to my husband, try to swing her towards Shirley. I don't want that dog with the eyes. It turns out I went home and I waited, and my husband and daughter wouldn't come. Where were they? And so I finally called my husband's phone. I said, where are you? He said, we're in Brooklyn. We're adopting Lola. And I was like, oh. I had a cat named Smokey Renee Stevenson. And Smokey Renee, I know it's a weird name, but he had to give a name at the place where he adopted the cat. Does anybody have a cat? See, you guys are animal people all the way. Well, that cat was very dear to me, very, very dear. She lived to the age of 18. Yeah, Smokey was fantastic. Lost all her teeth, still don't know why, because we adopted her as a kitten. She was found in a trash can. Anyway, and she and Lola got along great, and which was wonderful. And when Smokey Renee passed and went on the Rainbow Bridge, Lola, who had exhibited zero empathy for 14 years, suddenly was sad. And that's my story of Lola.
It happens. Well, I'll just tell you.
No empathy. You have a dog. Do you ever have a dog with no empathy?
I think I have one right now.
No.
Oh, you
she's
do?
just a
Okay.
puppy.
Oh, no, I don't. Because when I sneeze or when anyone sneezes, she gets very upset, very frantic.
That's terrible.
Yeah, I did, my puppy now, I did something really stupid. I've always had herding dogs, either sheepdogs, Polish sheepdogs, German shepherds, and I'm going to read you a little bit later. My dog had passed away. I'm going to really bum you out at the end of this.
We'll pass out the tissues.
Yeah, leave them
tissue
hot
squad.
and depressed.
Yeah,
Great idea,
that's what I
Alice.
want to do. But anyway,
Sweating and bereft.
I feel like I went on Tinder for dogs because I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw this dog that I fell in love with. So cute. Don't know anything about him, but cute. So I get in touch with the owner and I'm like, what kind of dog is that and where did you get it? And she tells me it's a Tibetan Terrier. Does anyone have a Tibetan Terrier? Okay, you have one? Okay, so then you're gonna know what I'm gonna say. So I go down and I get this Tibetan Terrier. Little did I know that Tibetan Terriers that are 2,000-year-old breeds do not listen to anyone. They're very independent. And then I talked to my friend Lois Lowry, the amazing writer, And I knew she had had 2 dogs when she was my neighbor. And I'm like, what did you have? She said, Tibetan Terriers. You didn't get one, did you? And I'm like, yes, I did. And she said the only way she could get her dog to come to her, like let's say it got out of the house or anything, was to throw herself on the ground. And then it would come back and try to explore and see why she was lying on the ground.
That's also a new dating technique on Instagram, where women are throwing themselves on the ground to see if a man will come or whatever.
Right? You know what I'm talking about.
I also need to say that when I lost my dog, Alice, we are neighbors. We're within walking distance of each other, and we're in touch constantly. And so my dog died, and you were very kind about it. And right away, you were texting me, don't get a puppy, don't get a puppy. I would no sooner read the text, don't get a puppy, that she would say, I would get a whole feed of puppies and dogs. And she would go, look at this one, look at this one. She was so cute. I'll go with you to get this dog, just day after day after day. So I have still resisted the urge, but I think I will go shopping for a dog
You
this summer.
probably will.
I love that story, Laura.
You know, it's mixed feelings. They're a big pain in the neck, but like, would you have it any other way? I don't know.
Tell us about Houdini. Tell us the story of how you got Houdini.
Oh, my first dog as an adult. You know, you have childhood dogs, but then you have your first dog as an adult. I just want to preface this by saying my mother had dogs that she never housebroke. That was just, there's a lot more to tell you about my mother, but that pretty much tells you everything. So I was like really nervous of having a dog that peed in the house. That was like my big fear. So I was living in California going to school. I lived with like 5 other people. And I saw an ad in the paper saying German Shepherd puppies. And so I went with a friend and we went up into the hills. And, you know, I was a kid. I was stupid. I was 20-something. And the guy said to me, I want you to see all my dogs. And he brought out all these amazingly trained German Shepherds. It turns out that he trained dogs for the police department. And he had 2 extra puppies. Like, I didn't know. I thought it was a real puppy, but it was really like 4 or 5 months old, and it had been trained, like completely trained. So I took it back. I didn't tell my roommates I was getting a dog. Just walk in with a German Shepherd. And
like you do.
I never trained him. I just left him in the backyard all day when I was at school or at work. Then we moved to New York together. No leash, walking in New York, on buses, in movie theaters, in restaurants. I taught, and he came to class with me. And I never really understood kind of who I had gotten. And really, I think of him, I used to think of him as my first husband, but now that I'm divorced, I think of him as my only husband. So that was the love of my life.
I think we can just call it a day now. We can just go. That's the line.
But did you have dogs growing up as kids?
We did not have dogs growing up, and we only had a cat. And the cat, we had to convince my mother to let the cat into the house. And there was a thunderstorm one night, and then the cat came to stay. I'm one of 7 children. My dad had dogs. My mom had cats as a kid. But we have an expression in Italian which we say feisty. It's a word that means you kind of don't like animals too much. But by the end, my mother was in love with the cat. And my dad wished he would have had a dog. For anybody here, well, this is a crowd that completely has dogs. So your whole life is around them. And I have found the most antisocial people have dogs because it's the excuse to do an Irish goodbye at every single party. I have my dog at home. Gotta go. You've been here 5 minutes, not working out for me. I miss my dog. I gotta get to my dog. Happens all the time. And I think it's kind of great. You did that?
I always do it.
Does it all the time. Are you going to do it now? No, but your dog's in the...
My dog, I have to get a babysitter every time I go out. I can't leave it alone.
Oh my God. A babysitter for the dog.
But the other thing that's funny about these essays, it brought out the whole notion of like, we're already insecure people. And then there was an essay or two, and I know you felt this when you got Violet, that some people feel like their dog doesn't like them. So do you want to talk about how you felt when you got
Fun.
You know, that was one of the great things about some of these essays. Jodi Picoult's essay is about a dog that not only didn't like her, didn't like anybody. And there's another essay by Roxane Gay about a dog. She didn't grow up with dogs, and her wife wanted to get a dog. They got a dog. She thought the dog hated her, and now she's the dog's favorite person. So that made me feel better because my dog did not like me. My dog likes men, and especially construction workers.
Well, who doesn't like construction?
Yeah, it's true. And I think part of that was when I got her, my house was being renovated, and I had a really good friend who was the construction person, and he would come in every day at 6 o'clock, and she was waiting for him, and she's still waiting for him. She knows when she hears his truck, she knows it's his truck. But it's not just him, it's like anybody on the street.
It took the dog book to get any men into our audiences.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That's so true.
There's a lot of handsome men here. I believe both straight and gay. And it is thrilling me beyond, I can't even tell you, because we only get girls because of women's
That's
fiction,
true.
they call it. Well, you're literary fiction, the great Alice Hoffman, and Laura, I think you're literary fiction. I don't know what you call what
I'm
I
a
do,
crossover.
but
I write about witches.
I'm so happy to see men here, because normally they have a look on their face when one weasels in, like, I hate her, you know? Usually
do have
the
men in the book.
The only men that come to my events is because they can drive at night. But today they love dogs. So that tells me something. I think my next novel is going to be called Mutt.
Yes.
I'll pack them in.
Yes. I actually have 2 Tibetan Terriers in my next book. They're ill-behaved.
Are we going to do questions now? Amy.
Should we go
What?
to questions?
I
Amy,
think
okay,
we
can I just
should.
be honest with you? Amy, stand up and let everybody give you a round of applause, please. Please.
Oh.
Yes, let's
This
take
is
questions.
Amy. Okay?
Thank you.
We love her, and in equal measure, we're scared of her. We had a meeting on the porch. Amy came out. We started horsing around, and she was like this. Do you teach, Amy? What do you do for a living? You're in the consultant business? Well, you cut people to the quick, I bet, don't you? She brought the groove right down, had us focused, serious.
We would not be who we are right
Amy,
now.
we would
if
not
had
be anywhere without you.
No, we're very grateful. Thank you, Amy.
And you know, we have to say, we go to these things a lot. This is the best one I've ever been to in 26 years.
Absolutely.
Now, let me say why. The people of Nantucket, they're the greatest. I'm serious. You'll never see me again. I'm going to get on the ferry and poof, poof, I'll be gone. But I want you to remember what I told you, because this island is magnificent. Nancy Thayer was supposed to be here. Is she here? Where's Nancy Thayer? Okay, she blew us off. That's good to know.
It's okay.
Every radio show, all I did was say, I'm so excited to meet Nancy Thayer. If you see her, tell her to go scratch. I'll be gone. Very rude, Nancy. What are you going to say? Almost questions.
All right, should we take questions?
Yes, we should. Let's
And-
get
and please,
serious. Amy
we-
just shot me
Okay,
a look.
But I just want to say, we want to hear about your dog, but in a timely fashion. Is that okay?
Okay, don't
Because
listen to Alice.
I had to tell these people that
It's too late. It's too late. We're House of Wax.
Yeah.
Did anybody watch House of Wax with Vincent Price? Remember that movie? That's how I feel right now. I'm starting to look like Ruth Buzzy. We got to get out of Dodge fast here. Not good. Okay.
Okay, let's go. Questions
Questions,
or
please.
stories?
Questions, stories. Oh, here we go.
Okay, I'm going to admit that I'm a cat person.
It's okay.
Except for I have taught my cat to sit
Okay.
and roll over.
Okay.
And one of my very good friends who lives on a farm has many dogs, and she's like, "You just wanted a dog," and I said, "No, I didn't."
Wow.
But
That's ethic and roll-
I love dogs if they're not mine.
Okay.
That's
Like
interesting because
children.
I always
That's
think my
fine.
dog is a cat because it doesn't listen to me, doesn't care what I say or what I do, just does its own thing. And it's very cute.
Oh,
Hi, I'm so happy to be here. And I love the book. I loved all the stories. They were just so touching and comforting. We lost our dog 2.5 years ago, and I'm still mourning. And what I found comforting for me, and it was like a gift to myself, I started writing his memory. And it's becoming like a long story. It's been like wonderful things, the memories that I have of him. Do you have any suggestions for me to keep in mind while I'm writing the life story?
want me to go first? You want to go first?
No, you go first.
Go, Laura.
I think that's I've never heard anyone refer to writing about their dog who's gone as their life story. That is so different. I mean, we've written about our dogs, but you're writing your dog's story, which is like an amazing thing because when I lost my dog, I felt just the passage of time. It was 16 and a half years. My son was 8 when we got her. I was in my 40s. It looks like I'm still, no. But anyway, and my parents were still alive when, so that whole piece of history for me was in the dog, and the dog was gone. But your take is so interesting. You're trying to write their story, and I love that. I love that.
I love that you're writing it too. And I hope everybody in this room writes down the story. Can you raise your hands if you've written, if you're a writer or if you're writing? Don't be shy. Look, it's a lot of us, okay? It's the most, forget what you leave people. Like your dishes or your silver. You can't pawn that stuff, can you, Amy? Nobody, our kids don't want it. They don't want anything. They don't want a dish. I don't understand this. I have everybody's dishes. I love dishes. Nobody wants them. I don't know why. So write it down, write it down, write it down, because you know what? It also helps you connect, and I'm very happy. I love being in a Methodist church as a Roman Catholic. We're always very in awe of our Methodist brothers and sisters, and where I'm from, and Jill will back me up on this because she's from Castlewood, Virginia, and I'm from Big Stone Gap. This is what we call Methodists behind their back. We call them Baptists gone to town. A little bit classier, Anyway, I tell you this because as a Catholic, anybody here Catholic? Oh, God bless you. I saw the guilt all over your faces and the shame. When I said I'm Catholic, the shame of it all. Anywho, we have a place in heaven for the animals now with St. Francis and Santa Clara, and it's beautiful. And they're there waiting for you. And you pray that you be with yours again. Everybody here that's lost one, because I'll tell you what, it'll take a piece of you, doesn't it, to lose your dog? It's the worst thing. I don't know why, because you think you could. They don't talk. But you feel like they were talking the whole time, and that the relationship is so beautiful, and they don't want anything but your love, If only husbands were like that, I mean, seriously, girls.
Actually,
I'm just going to give you one piece of advice before you're
Yeah.
done. This comes from my Aunt Amelia, who told me this before I got married. She said, don't do too much. Then they come to expect it. So I pretty much lived my whole life with a low bar in that regard. So please write it down and then share it with us. Alice, I feel there should be a sequel. And I feel there should be a national submission process so these stories are printed. House of Wax, Part 2.
She has good ideas, what can I tell you? I feel like, one of the things that I did after my dog passed away was I joined a grief group. I mean, it was a Zoom, and a lot of the people in the grief group were in bed. and their their pets had passed away like years earlier, and I just felt like I lasted about halfway through the grief group, and then I started looking on like Tinder. So I think I should have stayed in the grief group a little bit longer, you know.
How much of that can you take?
About a half an hour.
With people in their beds? I don't want to see that. No. And the lighting's bad and they can't adjust their cameras. Do you ever get that?
And they're in bed.
So I have a friend who told me that she was able to communicate with animals, and she did some readings for some dogs that I know. And since then, I've seen on YouTube, there are quite a few people who claim to communicate with animals, and the things they say are just hysterical, and I didn't know if any of you had ever attempted such a thing.
So, I'll just jump right in there. They claim, and I don't remember what I was just going to say. So you go. But
Okay,
I had a big thought, and I can't.
You punt, I deliver. I'm running the ball down the field. No, when you punt, you don't run it down the field, you mark it, right? You're straight. Okay, now, went to the one straight man in row 3. I love this event more than any. All right. I saw this on The Tonight Show when I was a little girl, and I never forgot it because we didn't have a dog, and I wanted a dog. Jonathan Winters was on The Tonight Show. And Jonathan Winters was talking to Johnny Carson. You can get it on YouTube. It's what I love. I love that I don't have to wait to see The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. I can just, every lunch hour I watch it. Every lunch hour. Especially love the Don Rickles episodes. Anyway, so Jonathan Winters was on there, and he was talking about his dog. And he said, the strangest look you'll ever get in your life is when you undress in front of your dog.
Wait a minute, people undress in front of their dogs?
Well, because you're getting ready for bed or something and they follow you or whatever, okay? So I just want everybody in this room to know that I never forgot that, and I will say to Lola, you wait here. I don't need any agita from you. And then I go and I change and then I come out. Because it's true, isn't it? They look at you like you're crazy or ooh.
Mine doesn't look at me.
Thank you for coming and entertaining us. I am Italian, Catholic.
Oh, thank God.
Dog-owning writer. And the early class I took, the first class, this is an adult level continuing ed, it's a writing class, and the instructor said, all the things not to do. Don't write about, a sporting event. Don't write through the perspective of your dog. So the next week, the first person who had to share her writing is the daughter of a very famous playwright. And her whole novel was through the perspective of her dog. It was the dog POV. And so what do you guys think about doing that, using a dog POV?
I just want to say that I wrote a book where I had one of the characters was a German Shepherd. I guess that's my thing. And it was through the German Shepherd's perspective, and my editor made me change it. And I did. I mean, I was younger, and I did change it, and I regret it. So I like the perspective.
There's a novel coming out this summer by Paul Yoon, and it's from the perspective of a dog. So do whatever you want.
How about the great American humorist from Ohio who wrote My World and Welcome to It? Remember him? What's his name, Alice? Okay, somebody's going to know it. Shout it out.
James Thurber.
James Thurber and the Thurber House. Yes. Think about, may I just say this about classes? They're important and they're good to do. But I think it's a lot, I'm just going to say what I believe. I think if you love what you're writing, throw the rules out. Those rules really do not matter. And a good professor is going to tell you what the common wisdom is or what he or she learned in school, and that makes sense. But I will tell you that the three of us wouldn't be on this stage if we would adhere to any philosophy of any teacher ever, are we right? And I love teachers, and we support education. We believe in it. Start to look, what's your name? Rachel, what's your last name? What is it, Coyote? C-A-I-O-T-T-I? C-A-I-A-T-I, Coyote. You Sicilian? I knew it. Okay. I'm just gonna say this as a sidebar. She'll cut a bitch. Okay. Rachel will be on this bestseller list in 24 seconds. Okay? Rach, listen to me, sister, okay? Are you done with the book? Okay,
Ooh,
good.
first draft.
When you're done, you're gonna reach out to me, okay? And I'll help you. Don't ask Alice and Laura for help, please. They have enough. I have a little system in place, but I will be happy to help you. And I say do what your heart tells you to do, because any great book is about what comes from your individual lens and soul. And there will never be another you, Rachel Coyote. There will never be another you. I'm getting exhausted. I think I lost a pound up here. I'm sweating like an animal. It's happening. I'm glad it's about dogs. Okay. We have questions over here, too. Some ladies over here. Yeah, okay. And gentlemen, I'm sure, one will have a question. We have a man?
Hi. I just wanted to tell you that one of the most moving stories in your book was the one by the veterinarian. And it came from such a different point of view, and it never occurred to me that the thing that would stay with those doctors were the things that went wrong, that they wouldn't fill their hearts with all the cute little dogs that they treated, but that the problems would sit and stay with them for such a long time.
Thank you for saying that. I just want to say that was Nick Trout's essay. He's a fantastic writer of fiction and nonfiction. Get his books. He's amazing. He was also my dog's orthopedic surgeon at Angel Memorial Hospital. And I'm very involved with the MSPCA and Angel Memorial. He was the surgeon for my sheepdog who had torn her, is it an ACL or an ALC? I never remember. Yeah. And just an amazing person, so dedicated and such a good writer. And it was such a different point of view. And, you know, people ask him questions about, you know, what it's like to have to lose patients. And, you know, I can't imagine. I have to say I wanted to be a vet, but I can't see blood. So I had to give that up. But I think his essay is really one of the best in the books. So thank you for that.
It is. You know, the great writers are very often have more than one job.
And they're
we can name some. William Carlos Williams, for example. He was a doctor, like a GP, general, and he had one typewriter for the poems and one typewriter for the prescriptions. Now isn't that a fun thing to know and tell on your way to cocktails?
Hi, I'm going to stand because that's what we do and we witness in church.
Are you going to tell us your sins? It's an altar call.
Oh, no, not
Now
enough
listen, if it's
time.
juicy, we want to hear it.
Actually, I'm going to go back to childhood. I cut my teeth on both books and love of dogs when I read a first edition copy of Lassie Comes Home, set in Scotland. And I just wondered if each of you would share a favorite dog book that you've loved and held close for years.
You just went through a whole list of them.
Well, I gotta say, I read all the.
No, those were horse books, Laura.
Oh,
I read all of the.
Misty of Chincoteague was a horse, not a dog.
it was hot, and I was
National Velvet, Black Stallion. Wait, I'm going to get to the dogs.
Well, did you read
Well,
the
Shane-
Lad of
Shane-
Dogs?
Isn't
Lad?
Shane's a novel? What? House of Wax? What's it?
Call of the
Call
Wild.
of the Wild.
Call of the Wild.
Oh, Call of the Wild. I wrote a whole novel about Buck. What am I doing? Yeah, Call of the Wild. That's a good one. But of course, I wrote about Clark Gable and Loretta Young, who had an affair, Call of the Wild, but I wrote a chapter about Buck.
Old Yeller.
Old Yeller's a good, that's a tearjerker.
Sounder. Oh my God,
Oh,
Sounder.
yeah, that's a good one too.
The Incredible
Incredible Journey.
Journey.
We have to go get that.
Travels with Charlie.
Oh, Travels with Charlie.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Couldn't hear that.
Red Sky at Morning, that's about a Chihuahua.
So is Cujo.
Does anyone else want to tell us about their dog?
Marley and Me.
So, it's not my dog. My aunt and her wife adopted Maltipoo. My aunt was 77, her wife 74, and they're in love with August Butler DeSpirito, his full name. And they're like, Pamela, oh my God, the dog loves you so much. And they call me like 6 months later, and they're like, we want to talk to you about our will. I think it's appropriate, 77, 74. Now, they live in Ocean Grove, which is like the Nantucket of Jersey. So I'm like, am I getting the house? Like, holy shit, I'm getting the house. So we're sitting down to talk about the will, and they're like, we're leaving August Butler DeSpirito to you. I'm like, what? I'm like, does he come with the house? I'm like, what about the house? They're like, he loves you so much. I'm like, I love the house. I got the dog, but not the house.
That's Pamela Martone, everybody. She's a beautiful writer, and she came on the ferry with her whole writing group. Oh. See there, that ferry was hopping. Thank you, Pam.
There's one way in the back, two way in the back.
All the way in the back.
All the way in the
Oh,
back.
you're getting your workout.
I know.
10,000 steps right here in the Methodist Church. Getting excited.
I'm sorry, my voice seems to be going. I adopted 2 rescue puppies, 3 months old. I was asked by my then husband, which one do you want? One was saying, pick me, and the other one was hanging back shy, and I said, I'll take both of them. So they grew up with my kids, and I had them until they were 14 years old. Littermate sisters, and they died within a month of each other. And the thing is, the one of them, I thought, I made an appointment, you know, to go to the vet the last time. And I had to cancel it because I had a problem. She couldn't get up. Well, after this happened, she got up, she headed for the deck, and we did a little walkabout around the deck. And then she died at home, but the people handling the cremation, he told me about a vet that comes to your home, and I thought, whoa. And so when I knew Carly was going, her sister, the first one was Layla, he came to my house, and he said, I'm ashamed of all these other vets and how much they're charging, you know, over $1,000, I guess, you know. And he only charged me like $100 and the cost of the medicine. But it was so nice. She was there at home. And
Did that help you that the dog passed at home?
Oh, absolutely.
It was
both
more,
of them, but it's still. I had lost my boyfriend the year before.
What happened to him?
So,
did he leave or did he pass?
No.
It's going to affect our attitude about him.
Good question. No, he was being a good son. He was getting his mom moved back home after she'd had a stroke. And I don't know, his family wouldn't talk to me. She found him, so that's a terrible story.
Okay, I think there's a novel there.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell
Rachel,
you,
there's a novel in the back here.
But I wonder, I had wondered how, like how soon or how hard was it for you? And did the three of you conspire to do dog books?
Yeah, well,
That's a great question.
yeah. No, we didn't really conspire, but we talked a lot. And I'm actually gonna, do you mind if I read you a little?
Oh, she's going to read.
I'm gonna read you something.
The great Alice Hoffman, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, it's very short, but it's kind of the afterword to the book. And of course, knowing me, it's sad, but that's okay. It's okay. During the editing of this book, I lost my beloved Polish lowlands sheepdog, Shelby, to kidney disease. Her death was fast and unexpected, but I was able to be with her at the end of her life. She came to me a few months before my husband left me for one of my friends. I suspected that he walked Shelby to meet up with his girlfriend, and I was fairly certain that if Shelby could have, she would have told me what went on during those walks down country lanes. Shelby was always by my side, and for more than 10 years, we were inseparable, especially during COVID. She was my sister, my daughter, my baby, my friend. She was my everything. She had so many human friends that I spent several days writing back to those who sent condolence letters. But nothing could console me, and nothing ever would. Someday I will likely have another dog, which I do, but it will not be Shelby. And in reading these essays, I've realized that they are all about loyalty and love. How lucky we are to have a dog in our lives, how treasured our time with them is. I've come to realize that there's not necessarily one best dog in the world, but if we're fortunate, many best dogs who each enrich our lives in different ways. In the essays contained in this book, there are stories about loss and family, about new relationships and hardships, but each and every one is about love. Thank you to the writers who shared their stories and to the dogs who changed their lives. And thank you to my Shelby, who quietly helped me through my darkest hours and who every day of her life loved me no matter what.
Oh, Alice, that's beautiful.
Thank you.